let's go out to the Lion's Den and debate it with our fantastic panel. And of course, we've got to start with Dr. Judy Ho, clinical psychologist. What do you think is wrong with her?
Jane, it's so sad what's been happening to her. You know, this has been a progressive decline in terms of her mental state. And it's taken a little while for somebody to actually take her in for an evaluation, but I actually think that she should have been taken in a long time ago. You know, I think what she's experiencing is a psychotic break. I mean, you can see that she's become a little delusional. If you've been following her Twitter feeds, they've become increasingly erratic. You know, the things that she says doesn't make sense. They're tangential, meaning that she jumps from topic to topic. And a lot of times it just seems like a non sequitur conversation, and you don't know who she's carrying that conversation out with. And so, you know, I feel like a lot of this is really an initiating phase into possibly a full-blown psychosis. I think we see the delusions already. I think we see that she's not taking care of herself.
Why is it we see this so much with former child stars? Amanda Bynes currently hospitalized right now on an involuntary hold. That's called a 5150. That means she's on lockdown for a mental evaluation for a minimum of 72 hours. And she is not the first big star to be held in a mental ward against her will. We all remember Britney Spears was famously hauled into the hospital on a 5150 during her own public meltdown back in 2008. And you remember Britney attacking the paparazzo with an umbrella, and we all remember her shaving her head. Her dad came to the rescue, placing Britney under a conservatorship. There's the video of Britney going to the hospital after she was taken in. And, you know, Lisa Bloom, Amanda Bynes also shaved her head recently, and we've got even photos showing some of that from her Twitter account, and now she's under an involuntary hold. I mean, the commonalities here are unbelievable. Two gorgeous child stars turned superstar actresses both shave their head, and then both of them end up in an involuntary hold. What's going on?
You know, Jane, I come from a family with several close family members who had serious mental illness problems. And I can tell you, people like that often have big, charming personalities when they're not having these terrible problems that we're seeing now with Amanda Bynes. So it makes perfect sense that they would gravitate toward the entertainment industry, that they would be child stars. And what breaks my heart is seeing people making terrible, mean comments, making fun of her online. I mean, this is a very, very troubled young woman who needs help, who needs our compassion and understanding. We don't really understand mental illness very well in our culture. She needs help, clearly. She'll probably be in for a few days, then she'll be released, then she'll have more problems, then she'll be back in. I mean, God forbid she harms somebody or harms herself. She really needs serious treatment.
Well, Amanda hasn't appeared in movies or TV since the hit comedy Easy A more than 2 years ago. Remember this from Screen Gems?
Olive, that's your name, right?
Yeah, we've had 9 classes together.
There's a higher power that will judge you for your indecency.
Tom Cruise.
Alexis Tereszchuk, entertainment editor, Radar Online. You know what I'm talking about with former child stars. They seem to have a tendency or propensity to have serious emotional problems.
And it's been so heartbreaking. What it is these kids are given so much freedom when they're so very young and so much money. Nobody ever tells them no. And any problem that they might have had would be brushed under the rug so that people can continue to make money off of them. It's never in the best interest of the actor or the actress to be put under care, under a doctor's program, because this would then take away from the money that everybody else that's around them needs. Parents, managers, publicists. So they're very protected, and unfortunately they go untreated. And so we see this with men and women, that when they get in their 20s and the money is theirs all of a sudden, they don't have anybody telling them what to do or stopping them, they really get out of control. But the good thing is about Amanda that she is here in California, and that her family actually does want to get a conservatorship for her. They're working on that. They're trying to make sure that they can help her. We actually learned at Radar Online that she was out of money in New York City, which is why she came back to California. She had nowhere to live. She didn't have an apartment. She didn't have any money to stay in a hotel, so she came back here. Thing is, her money is separate. She hasn't been able to touch all of it, so she is not destitute like, say, a Lindsay Lohan is, but she's going to be able to get help, and that's what her family's hoping to do.
She looks like a child, but she's 27 years old, which I find shocking. I looked at that and I was like, 27? She looks like 13. One of the reasons she was able to play an ingenue. More on the other side. We're just getting started, and we're taking
I'm very lucky. I have a great family, and I just have my eye on the prize, which for me is a long career, and I don't want to I don't want to blow what I've worked so hard to, to achieve.
Wow. Well, Amanda Bynes allegedly set fire outside a stranger's home in their front yard, some elderly lady who has no idea who this woman is, and she's now committed under involuntary hold at a mental facility in Los Angeles. And, she's been documenting her downward spiral on Twitter, posting rants. And take a look at this bizarre video she posted. And it's on a Vine video, and it's called "I'm Sucking on a Sour Patch Kid, Listening to Music, Getting Ready for Tonight." Look at this. Look at this. Oh, this is scary. I didn't see this before until just now, and you know what? This really upsets me. No, this really upsets me. Dr. Judy Ho, this is not, oh, something really, really bad's going on. Let's see it again because I want you to analyze it. What do you think's going on with this video? Feel free to look at the monitor.
Oh, well, Jane, I mean, this is somebody who has really just completely gone down the deep end. I mean, she doesn't even make any sense anymore. Like, she's not even constructing sentences that make sense, and she's posting this. Everybody's watching. I think one of the things about child stars that you guys were talking about earlier, it's important because most children are not susceptible to the type of stressors that child stars are so early on. They're dealing with competition, they're dealing with rejection at a much earlier age and with much bigger stakes. And depression and child fame is really linked. You see that all the time. And, the other thing I think that's important is, Amanda, she was kind of brought up in this world of fame with her show so early on. And then her career started to slump a little bit after Easy A. We didn't hear very much about her. And I think that was really a big stressor.
Well, you're right. I mean, she started acting professionally at the tender age of 7. She joined the cast of Nickelodeon and that sketch show, All That, when she was barely 10. And she was, squeaky clean, adorable, just like another child star we know. Psychologist Dr. Judy Ho, is the solution for Amanda Bynes to leave Hollywood?
I think so. I think she needs to get back to, well, she never really had a real childhood, so I guess she needs to have an actual childhood. Have some time being able to just relax and not be susceptible to the types of stresses of Hollywood. Unfortunately, I think she's attracted to it too. It's like she hates it and she loves it. You can see that from her interviews. She gets extremely defensive about, when people make accusations of her. She gets extremely defensive about who she is because she's very vested in protecting that child actor, goody two-shoes personality that everybody associates her with. And so whenever anyone challenges her with that, she really fights back with them.